Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's a little after 9 o'clock in the morning here on the 19th of December, 2022. We've got about 24 minutes before the market opens, and I'm going to do a little bit of an update here on the S&P 500. I did say that this update was on SPX only. Surprise, I lied. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But before I get into all of this analysis, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. And if you haven't noticed, I am feeling a little bit better today. I've been a little bit under the weather for the last couple days. It's been an ongoing thing for the last several weeks. But here I am again, and we're going to go ahead and move right on into the charts. Oh, by the way, if you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description that'll get you access to the Discord. If you need access to any of our educational content, any of our trading ideas, any of our analysis, you can find all of that information on BitDoctor.org, including getting access to the indicators, which I have on my screen now, that help us in all of the trades that we take. And by the way, I'm also in the middle of finishing a different indicator, which I am going to include for all of our members. So be on the lookout for that. It's a volume analysis tool, which I believe will be very, very helpful in looking for pivots. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we're in here looking at the S&P 500. I'm going to try and keep things pretty quick because, again, the market does open in here in about 23 minutes. I want to focus for just a moment on the fact that on this correction that we saw a move here from this dominant pivot high, this dominant pivot low, and our pullback, right? We saw this move, and so that's going to be, our first move, our second move. Then we're looking for our third move, and where is it going to go? And through the duration of this trend that we have been in ever since the bottom here, we've been seeing a move stopping at the 1618 to the 175. And it was actually very similar to what we saw right here. This is where I closed out of one of my major short positions, because we were getting down here to the 175. Once we got here, I closed it out completely. And I made an assumption, right, as you can see based on what I've got here in the chart right now, that we were going to do a retest of this level right here at about 39.18. And we did discuss this in the video from last week. I still think that it is very, very possible from down here that we do get a retest of this area up here. And what I expect this is going to be, again, this is just my opinion, I expect it's going to be somewhat of a wave 4. Because from this move, from this high up here, I'm going to go down to a lower time frame because I think this is going to look just a little bit better if I do it this way. And actually, I think I can go down to a 5-minute, and I think it's going to look, maybe even better from this perspective. All right, I'm going to remove this just to create some clarity and make things just a little easier on the eye, a little easier to see. So what I believe that I see going on here is a major 1, A, B, C into the 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and then we're working on a wave 4, and then we go down for wave 5. And the reason why I believe that is because also what I can see right here is a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go down here for the wave 5. And, it is quite nice down here in wave 5. This is actually where we went long on the server last week. What we could see is the fact that we were having a bottom that was being created, right? So we have a little bit of a trend line here with 3 touches. It was quite nice. And then from right here, we had something like this going on. And we had a nice little retest of this right here. And so this looked pretty good. It looked like we were going to get a nice move up going into the week, this coming week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take a stab at where I think things are going to retrace to. And quite simply, this is something that we've been talking about for years and years and years. Nothing has changed. We're going to take our dominant pivot high here for the wave 2, take our dominant pivot low here for the wave 3, and then we're just going to kind of move things right on over and look for wave 4, which typically hits the 382. Now, because of the length of this wave 3, which again went beyond the 1618 and beyond the 175, we could be seeing a little bit of weakness going into a wave 4, which means we could actually stop at the 236. I don't really want to see that. I want us to go up here to this 382 because it would make a lot of sense for that to happen. Now, do I think it's going to go straight down from there? No, I don't. I think once we do get this wave 4, whenever this hits, it could hit today, it could hit tomorrow, but I think we're going to get a decent sized move up here at some point. But then I believe we're going to go down for wave 5. Now, wave 5, the traditional target is going to be here at 37.77. And again, if I look left, I'm going to go all the way back here. Regardless of whether the bottom's at 37.77 or if that bottom is going to be, and I'm just going to kind of clean things up here for just a moment. I'm going to get these fib readings off of here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure the top here and then go to the bottom of wave 3. And I'm going to make an assumption that we are going to go to the 382 for a moment. So I'm going to take 1 plus 3 and project it back from wave 4. Okay, so we're going to take 1 plus 3 times the 618. Okay, 1 to 3, the 618 is going to be right here at 37.50. Now, again, this is in a perfect world, right? Going up to the 382, which is going to be at about 39.12. I think it's very possible that we get up there to that level within the first couple days of this week. And then I think we're going to continue that move down. And if this were to happen, that we get here to the 382, well, then, combining waves 1 and 3, right, taking the pullback to that wave 4 target, and you're going to target the 618, well, where does that actually hit? I'm just going to go ahead and mark this off here so that we can see this. Excuse me, put that back. All right, we're going to, again, take this from right here. We're going to put that right there, and it's doing it again. All right, so we've got our target right here at 37.50. Okay, so we've got 37.50, and we're going to be taking a look right here at this level, which is actually the low before we had that significant move higher. Okay, we had a significant move higher here off of this low, and it looks like our target is going to be right there in that exact same area. All right. Again, the indicator right now on the 5-minute time frame shows, at the end of the day, we were kind of overbought, which is one of the reasons why we took profit on the position that we had. But, it looks here on our higher time frames. And again, I'm on a 5-minute, so the white and the red indicator aren't like super high time frame. We're talking like maybe an hour time frame on this at most. Taking this, seeing that move go up just a little bit here, and then we see that move down. And by that time, these indicators will have had time to reset. And again, it could be here. We could go out a little ways. The longer that it takes, I think the further down we will probably go. And so again, we're going to take that with, 1 day at a time. And again, I'm on a 5-minute chart, so it could take some time for this to work out. But now I want to take a really quick look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So DJI, let's take a look at you, and we're going to take a look at you on we'll start at the daily here. Okay, so we had a break of the trend line here, but what I want to point out is from up here, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and from there, I am seeing signs of the completion of an expanded flat, an A, a B, and a C. And this is something that that you like to see in a market, an expanded flat like this going into, a wave 5 down, wave 3 correction, and then go into another 5-wave structure down. Now, this is not going to happen overnight, right? How long did it take, right? How long did it take for this 5-wave structure to complete? Well, let's just take a look at that for a moment. How long did it take for that to complete? It took a lot of time, right? And then let's go ahead and put our multipliers on here, remove these. What ended up happening after an equal amount of time, right? So what we ended up having after an equal amount of time I'm also going to put the 3 on there because I think that's important. After an equal amount of time, we had a significant top. I mean, we could even put the C there if we wanted to, but one way or another, we reached a significant top after an equal amount of time as this 5-wave structure down that started this potential expanded flat. So now the equal amount of time before this next wave is complete takes us all the way into May. Are we going to be finished with the bear market by then? I mean, that's way, way, way in the future. Nobody can tell you that that's when the end is going to be, or nobody can tell you that the low is going to be in at 27,500. We don't have the ability to look into the future, which is why, this is all just for educational purposes. But what we can see here is that, major pivots in the market, they've been going in terms of cycles, right? We do have cycles that we should be paying attention to. So let me go ahead and see if I can get my indicators here to do time cycles. I want to look at a couple different time cycles here. I'm going to take this dominant pivot high, and we're going to sort of look at this in terms of here. All right. And let me just pull this down a little bit and just kind of show you what we potentially have going on. I'm going to get my vertical line. And so we've got a high here. Now, time cycle, we pinned this guy right here. Time cycle, we pinned this right here. Time cycle, we pinned right here. Okay. And now we're looking for another pin at this level right here. So again, from this, we've seen a move from here down and then back up. Okay. And then from here, we saw it down and then back up, right? Of course, it went higher, but then we saw it down and then went back up, right? And again, similar to back here, this one went up a little bit. I'm expecting there to be a down and then a back up. But how high is that going to go? We're going to have to just wait and see. But I'm looking at the patterns. I'm looking at fractals, which, by the way, if you're not aware, a fractal is just a pattern that looks similar, but of course it's not going to be exact. It's not going to be exact in time. It's not going to be exact in price. But there are similarities that we see within these time cycles. So therefore, I have no reason to believe that this is not going to be significantly different than before. So this is what I'm looking at in Dow Jones as well. And I also believe that Dow Jones is, pretty algorithmic. You're going to see things that look, very technical, right? There's only 30 stocks in Dow Jones. There's 500 in the S&P 500. There's 2,000 in Russell, right? So Dow Jones is very algorithmic. You're going to be able to see patterns a lot better in Dow Jones than you are in the S&P 500 and also in NASDAQ and especially in RUT, right? If you're looking at IWM or RUT or RTY, whatever you want to use to chart those, it's going to be a little more difficult and you're going to find yourself frustrated when you're trying to find patterns that look like they're going to pan out, but then they might end up not panning out. So just take a look at Dow Jones a little bit more when you're looking at patterns versus looking at the S&P 500. But certainly patterns can be found in the S&P, but maybe not getting to those technical targets that you would expect. For right now, Dow Jones looks like the daily is trying to move up a little bit, but it's currently failing. So we could see that continued downside this week. We are getting a retest of this trend line, which indicates that there is some support, there is some demand here. But watch out for the supply at this level here, 33,485, because that could be something that we find as resistance, similar to what I'm expecting on the S&P 500. So, all right, well, that's what I've got right now. The market opens in 10 minutes, so I'm going to go and get some notes ready here and get ready for the day. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And last but not least, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening. Have a great trading week, you guys. It's a full 5-day week this week. Next week, 4 days. Week after that, 4 days. So take advantage of this week while you can. All right, take care, everyone.